Hey everyone, and welcome to my morning routine. I usually get up at around 7:30 a.m. and as quickly as possible will get out of the covers, at least partly, and begin some light stretching. I can often be a bit stiff right when I wake up, so it's nice just to spend a few moments loosening up my muscles and kind of making my body feel ready for the day ahead of me. And I don't have a set list of stretches that I go through, but generally I'll try to loosen up my back, shoulders, and neck. And then before getting out of bed, I like to take a few moments to take a few deep breaths and drink a sip or two of water. This helps increase the oxygen flow in my body and gives me energy as I start the day. Then I'll get out of bed and open up our blinds. During this time of year, the sun is usually just risen by the time I wake up, and so it's nice to let the sunlight in as I make our bed. This is one of the first things that I do every morning, pretty much without fail, and I love the fact that it's one of those small things you can do. It only takes a few moments, but it can not only make you feel more productive as you start the day, but also it makes it so that your bedroom becomes this peaceful, relaxing, and inviting space that you want to go back to at night. During the winter, I sleep with this blanket in addition to our duvet, so I just try to throw it in a semi-attractive way on the bed. And then after that, I'll usually unplug my phone and then tuck my cord behind our mirror. I'm all about reducing visual clutter, so it's just one small way I can do that. And then I'll head to the bathroom and start getting ready for the day. I'm not naturally a morning person, so something that I like to do to help get ready for the day the night before is to set out the clothes that I'll be wearing. Recently, since I've been working from home, I've been gravitating towards some really comfortable clothing. These black leggings are something that I've pretty much been living in, and the same goes for this cozy sweater. It's made from alpaca wool, and it is incredibly soft and comfortable. I'll also throw on some cozy socks, and I love these ones with little ferns. And then before moving on, I like to pop on some music quickly. The playlist I've been listening to a lot recently is this Christmas Coffee House playlist on Spotify. And then I'll move on to getting ready. Starting off, I'll brush my teeth quickly. And then once I've brushed my teeth, I'll put my toothbrush back, grab a quick sip of water just to clear out my mouth, and then move on to skincare. I like keeping things really simple when it comes to skincare, and so usually what I'll do is just wash my face with water, dry it off with a towel, and then put on some moisturizer. I find that keeping things simple here really is the best way to go, and my skin has actually cleared up significantly since I started doing this. And then once my skin is moisturized, I'll do my hair. My hair is almost always in one of two hairstyles, either in a bun or down. And obviously today I opted for the bun. It's a really quick and easy option, but the one thing that I'll do to kind of make it look a little bit better is I'll use my curling iron just to kind of touch up some of the crazy baby hairs that will often fall out of the bun. This takes less than a minute to do, but I find that it makes a huge difference in how my hair looks that day. And then I'll quickly put on some deodorant. This is a bergamot scented one that I've really been loving. And then I'll finish things up here by putting on just a bit of makeup. While it's definitely not necessary, it's something small that I can do just to feel a little bit more confident and ready to face the day ahead of me. So lately what I've been doing for makeup is putting on a bit of concealer, some brow balm, and just filling in the patchier areas of my eyebrows, brushing them into place, and then putting on a bit of eyeliner and mascara. Oh, and at this time of year, we definitely can't forget the lip balm either. That's a must for me. And then as the finishing touches, I like to put on a couple pieces of jewelry. Right now, I'm loving this little necklace with trees on it. And at this point, I'm pretty much ready for the day, so I'll move on to some of the more fun and relaxing parts of my morning. The first thing that I'll do is boil water for my tea. And then I'll head over to Christopher's office, and he actually begins work right when I get up. So he'll already have been up for a little while, but I'll come say hello to him and give him a hug, and we'll usually just spend a couple moments hanging out, hugging, and chatting with each other. Then I'll go back to the living room, turn on the Christmas tree lights, and light my favorite candle. The scent of this one is cedar magnolia, and it smells incredible. And by this point, my water usually will have boiled, and so I'll come back and start making my tea. During the winter, I tend to drink a lot of tea, so I'll get out my French press, which is enough to make 2 cups worth. And I like to switch up what tea I'm going to have from day to day, but one that I've been enjoying a lot recently is this classic Indian chai. one of the most fun things about tea for me is just watching the tea leaves swirl once you put the water in. And then while the tea steeped, I got out my milk frother and poured a bit of oat milk into it. I love a good tea latte, and this milk frother does such a good job of just perfectly foaming the milk. And it just takes a couple of minutes for the milk to heat up, so usually by the time that finishes, my tea will be ready to go as well. So I'll start off just by pouring the tea into my mug, and then I'll top it off with the frothed milk after that. And then I'll bring my tea over to the couch to begin the coziest part of my morning. It can be a bit chilly in our apartment during this time of year, so I like to make things snuggly and warm by adding in a cozy blanket. And then I'll also usually turn on our lamp too, especially on those more gray days. It can be pretty dark and gloomy in our apartment, so it just warms things up a bit. And then I'll grab my book so I can enjoy some quiet time and reading. So I'll start off with my quiet time first and spend some time reading my Bible. This year, I've been using the Read Scripture plan to try to read through the Bible in a year, and I'm happy to say I'm almost done. Currently, I'm reading through the book of Hebrews, and then I'm also reading a psalm a day as well. But I really love taking the time to do this each morning because it really encourages me to slow down, to pause, and to reflect. It really helps to put me in the right headspace and heart space as I begin my day. And then once I finish with my reading, I'll check it off in the app that marks my progress. But then I'll move into a short time of meditation and reflection. Again, this helps to clear my mind and helps me to focus throughout the rest of the day. And I like to start by focusing on my breathing, taking long, deep breaths. Then also too, I like to spend some time just reflecting on and trying to take in exactly what I read. And while I do that, I'll usually finish off my tea as well. And then after a few minutes of this, I'll bring my mug back to the kitchen and grab my water cup so I can refill it. During the workday, I can often forget to be taking in enough liquids, so it's really important to me to be drinking water early in the morning. And then I'll bring my water back to the couch and get snuggled up again so that I can read my second book. In addition to reading my Bible, I really like reading a fun story that I can get lost in. I've recently become obsessed with the Agatha Christie murder mystery novels, and so currently I'm reading through The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. I'm almost at the end of this one, and it's been a great read already, but Agatha's novels always tend to have a fun little twist at the end, and I'm excited to get there. And what I love about this book especially is that the chapters are really short and easy to read. It probably only takes me 5 minutes to read a chapter. And so it's one fun, quick thing that I can do before I start work just to bring a bit more enjoyment into my morning. So I'll read through a chapter or maybe two, and then I'll put my book away, and if I have water left, and usually I do, I'll spend just a couple of moments working on a puzzle. I went through a major puzzle phase during lockdown, but typically Christmas time is when I like to break out all the puzzles. This one was a gift from friends of ours, and I'll just spend 2 or 3 minutes seeing if I can find any pieces. Once my water is finished though, that's my signal that it's time to make breakfast. I'm really not a creature of habit when it comes to what I eat for breakfast, so it changes a lot from day to day. On this day though, we had some leftover bread and eggs, so I decided to make some homemade avocado toast with an egg on top. So I just put the bread in our toaster oven for a couple moments, and then got out my pan to make a sunny side up egg. And while those cooked, I got out my avocado and began slicing it. I usually create the slices inside of the avocado and then just scoop it out over the piece of bread. It's definitely the easiest way I found of doing it. And just as I finished that, my egg was ready to go, and I have to say, it came out perfectly. And then I finished things off by grinding some salt and pepper on top of it. This is a really easy breakfast. It takes less than 5 minutes to make, but it really is delicious. Plus, it's packed with protein and healthy fats. And then while I eat breakfast, I'll often catch up on any texts or messages that I was sent over the night. I try not to be on my phone too much before this point, but this is really when I give myself the freedom just to catch up. But once I finish breakfast, I'll move on just to a final few things before I begin my workday. First off, something that I do on pretty much a daily basis is check on my plants. I have quite a few of them, and all of them have different watering schedules and watering needs, so I just like to quickly check in and see how they're all doing, and then I'll also water any that need it and remove any dead leaves. find that during the winter, the amount of water that each plant needs tends to vary a whole lot more than it does during the summer, so it's important that I check on each plant individually. This only takes a couple minutes though, and once I finish, I'll move on to making my second tea. I find that the French press does a pretty good job of keeping the water warm, so I won't usually reheat it, but I will make some more steamed milk to enjoy with it. So again, I'll bring that back to the couch, and then I'll go to my desk to grab my laptop and my bullet journal. While I do usually work from my desk during the rest of the year, around Christmas time, I love being able to work right by the Christmas tree. So I found myself working from the couch a lot recently. And then the last thing I'll do before I start working is spend some time planning out my day in my bullet journal. I'll outline my to-do list and then highlight my top few priorities that I want to focus on throughout the day. And then once I have my kind of roadmap for the day and plan in place, I'll move on to starting work. So that really wraps up my morning routine, and from here, I'll just begin working on some of the tasks I identified. But I hope you enjoyed this little glimpse into my morning routine and that it hopefully gave you some inspiration for your mornings as well. And if you enjoyed this video and haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button below for more simple and intentional living videos coming at you twice a week. That's all for today though. Have a good one.